Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all well. Welcome to the fan cams, the final fan cams for the preseason here in season 2021. As we sit here and we unlock and unpack a very interesting game tonight. Fast-paced game. We're starting a little earlier, which is fun. One sec. Let me just play around with this. Yeah, I don't know about you guys. I enjoyed my night out at the footy. I know that the result didn't go our way, but I enjoyed my night out at the footy tonight. It was a lot of energy given it was a preseason game, community series game. Obviously, some people not happy with the result, some people happy with the result. It really just depends on what your expectations were from the game. So what I'll do is I'm going to, Peter Vlaha was a shootout. It definitely was a shootout. It absolutely was a shootout. It was a win for Steve Hocking tonight. It was a win for those who want the high-scoring games. I think we showed some good signs tonight. Some devastating moments. Harry Mackay getting hurt, Jacob Wiedering getting hurt. Hopefully they're not too serious. But it really showed what our forward line looks like at the moment. It's very thin. Anyway, without further ado, let's get you guys involved. I'm going to put the link here. You guys know how it works. Hit the link and you will enter the waiting room. It's capped at I think it's capped at 12 people. So I'll go as long as I possibly can. But I want to get as many of you involved as possible to get your thoughts on the game. So feel free to hit the link, share your thoughts on the game, positive, negative, what you're looking at, and we'll unpack it. I think it's going to be an interesting conversation tonight. Here's our first guest, Harry.
Hey Tez, how's it going, mate?
Good, brother. How are you?
Yeah, good. I'll start off saying I thought it was a good game. It's good to have footy back. I saw a lot of it last year from Queensland, but yeah, it was good to have it back. Yeah. So
you watched from home tonight?
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was pretty impressive that we scored 199 with no, we didn't actually have any of the big three. Like, we didn't have any of our proper forwards, and all that. So that was quite impressive. I thought the injuries were a little bit annoying, but I'd say they're a quality team. So
yeah, full credit to them. They're quick, man. They play
quick. They look pretty fit as well, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, they play that 2021 Steve Hocking football that the AFL are looking for, don't they? And you know what I noticed with them? They knew exactly where the next ball was going to be. Exactly. They knew exactly where they wanted to go.
They looked very free as well. They were just it was quite impressive. I thought some of their players, like King's, just got that reach is just. It's just
he's a problem.
I thought we were quite competitive. I was impressed with Sauce, Murph. I thought was quite good. If there was a couple, there's not too many things. It's a first hit out or second hit out. So
yeah.
But I'd say if there's one thing, maybe Doc just clean. His kicks were a bit off, but I think with Doc, you got to realize he's come off 2 ACLs. He'll get. This is his second season back, so you'll expect more. But I feel like he's the sort of guy he'll sort that out. I don't have to be too worried with him, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
He's our captain. He's going to sort it out. And I thought Cripps looked. I don't know what it was. He looked better, but a lot of the times when he gets kicks coming to him, they weren't really to his advantage. I don't know if you noticed that, but I thought he got a bit stiff done by. But yeah, it was a good hit out overall, and I think Saints are top 4 side this year, so I think it was overall. I'm pretty happy with the result. Williams was pretty good with those goals. It's good to see a lot of players back there. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you think Paddy Dow? Do you think Paddy Dow's done enough to play in round one?
Yeah, I do. I do think he's done enough. I think if you look at the Bombers game as well, probably stepped down from the Bombers game, but I think I can just see it almost like a different player. He's still got some of his stuff. More of that like dash, and like he's bigger. I think he's done a lot of upper body work over the off season. You can quite clearly tell. But Paddy's great. I think he's I think he'll play round one.
Yeah. Love it. All right, mate. Love it. Well, thanks for joining.
Yeah, cheers.
Have a good one, brother. Where are we at? Jad.
Oh,
Jad,
sorry,
you
man.
there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
You there, mate? I can hear you. How you doing?
Yeah, good, man. I just put my headphones away. I was trying to get them hooked up.
We've had the benefit of having a quick chat before this. We've had to have our standard chat before this just to calm each other down, mate. What did you see? What did you think?
Yeah, no, look, to be honest, you did calm me down. Like I'm calmer now, maybe because the time's passed. So so just going on what we're talking about, man. Like I'm not looking at the result. Yeah, I'm not looking at like we're missing all these forwards. I'm looking at how they set up, and it's really frustrating, man. Like, I get it's a practice game, yeah, but I don't think we're a good enough team to take a practice match easy. We're not that club, you know. We can't. I don't think we can afford to do that because I really don't see any possibility of rocking up round one and beating Richmond. Like these games matter for us. We're not a final side. We can't take it easy here and there. We got to go. Just go. And I'm just like, it's just, and so I've got my note here.
Do you think we didn't go?
Yeah, man, like hesitant. No one wanted to tackle, slow. But the main concern, man, is our stoppage setups. It's so bad. It's been like that for years. So it's definitely a coaching thing. Every time there's a hit out, the ball never falls to us. It always falls to the opposition. And especially a quick side like Saints, it kills you. But our stoppage setup, it's always lacking. It's always behind. We never get first use of the ball. And then once the opposition does gain the ball, we're 2 meters behind every player. And it's so frustrating, man. I can't believe there doesn't seem to be any sort of improvement on that so far. I heard Teague yesterday when everyone on radio, and he said that today's game wasn't about being at our best. Like those are his exact words. I really hope that's true, man, because we just don't get first use of the ball, and when we don't get the ball, we're behind. Like there's space every time. St Kilda seem to get a bit of space, like even as a meter where we look dead in the water, we can't catch them, we can't do anything. And I don't rate Saints as high. I don't think they're at all a top 4 team. I don't think they're anything like that. I just think they're quick, and I think their game style exploits poor sides, and better sides are able to stop their run. I don't think they're anything special.
I think they're well coached, to be honest.
Well, they're well coached, yeah, of course. Like Ratton's a good coach, but their style exposes poor, slow sides. We just look so stupid, like chasing them all day, man. Like I don't understand what's going on with their stoppage setup. I don't understand clearance setup. I don't get it. Yeah, and everything else, you know, we don't have a forward line. That's fair enough. Defenders, what happened there, man?
Did you think that was the defender's fault? Did you think that was the defense's fault, or did you put the blame on the midfield? Because, like you said, like we didn't really get too physical with them, and maybe that's because it's a preseason game, and naturally, once you hit the season, you're not going to, obviously during the season there's going to be a lot more physicality. I mean, you would expect. Do you think it was the midfield to blame for how many entries the Saints had, or is it a defensive setup?
It's definitely both. Because as I was saying, like the transition whenever we lost the ball is deplorable, man. Like they look like they got cement for legs. They don't seem to be able to run defensively at all. But going on to the defenders, when I'm saying the defenders, look at the individual errors, man. Like Doherty, I've never seen him that bad before. Wiedering looked poor before he went off.
He did, yeah.
Jonesy was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, just
what did work though? What did work? Because what I think worked is the fact that we had to adjust to not having a bona fide tall forward there. I mean, Oscar McDonald is a tall, but he's not in the system. He's still trying to fight his way there. Callum Moore as well. We had a good spread of goal kickers who played in the midfield as well. What did you think did work? What were you happy with tonight?
Yeah. I was definitely happy with how they adjusted to having no forward line. Fisher looked dangerous. He looks like he's going to come on. I reckon I did see a bit of when Harry was there. I did see a bit of isolation work happening because there was an instance where a long entry towards whoever it was, and you could see Carlton player here, Carlton player here, and they refused to go into the space. They refused to go for the mark. I actually watched it. Fisher was definitely involved in that. He stood back. He had his back to his opponent, and he's waiting for the drop of the ball. And I think that's definitely something they've worked on, is that they want to create isolation for our forwards, because I didn't really see anyone running into anyone else's space. Obviously, that's when Harry was there, because when he went off, obviously it just went a bit haywire. But I definitely do see the work they're trying to do with isolation. Williams, great. Sardi, okay. He'll grow into it. Sardi just looks like a guy who's still learning his new environment, trying to build a bit of chemistry with his team, with his new teammates. Williams going to be really good for us. Dow, I really like Dow. When he finished with 15 touches, went at 73%, I think. Really good, clever, quick hands. This is definitely those things I liked, but those systematic issues are really worrying.
I felt like St Kilda was a really good team to play against to get prepared for Richmond. So I hope that we can take some things from tonight, apply them, because I don't think we're going to be able to give Richmond that much space to spread, and hopefully we can lock them up a bit more.
Yeah, what did you make of the rule? Because the the stand rule, because you were there, yeah?
I was there. I personally feel like it's going to give the game 2 to 3 more goals. I think it just will. That's just my feeling. I mean, to be honest, it's the first time I've seen it in practice. Marvel's also a really good deck to have that rule, because it's dry. So naturally, the ball's moving a lot quicker. And faster.
But did you notice it caused more fatigue? Because they look really spent. And I think it's
To be fair to them, it's their second game playing at full quarters after a season of playing 15-minute quarters. So. Or whatever it was. So to be fair to them, they're probably going to have to adjust to that. I think it was a good tune-up, and I like the fact that we played the team that we played tonight. I thought it was a pretty strong team. But what's it called? I'm going to leave it there because I've got quite a few more in line.
Easy, bro.
But brother, great to chat with you.
Enjoy, man. I'll watch on.
Smile, mate. Round one's upon us. See you, Ledge. Where are we? Mr. Sebastiani.
Terry, good evening. How are you?
Had to get you on, mate. We can't have fan cams without you, mate.
I was debating, but then you tempted me into it, mate. So I'm here.
Talk to me. What'd you see?
I think you could look at it both ways. You can look at it and say, well, no forward line, and we're able to manage. What did we kick? 15-9 in the end, was it? I think from what I'm looking at here. Yeah, 15-9. I think there's some good signs to take out of the game. And as I said to you before the game when we met up, you just don't want injuries and guys going down. But yeah, hopefully, I think Tiggy they look to be on the minor end of the scale. It didn't look too bad after the boys came off, Nunes, Mackay, and Wiedering. So hopefully all is well with those three. From a game perspective. Look, a little bit sloppy. I think it's just a thing of ours that when we tend to make mistakes in the back line, we just get hurt a lot more than what most of those sort of top 8, top 4 teams do. We just aren't able to sort of get back in numbers. And when we turn the ball over, like what I think the prime example was Doherty turning it over at full back there when he had, I think it was Petreski-Seaton on, or maybe someone else, or maybe Sard, that 20-metre kick. I mean, you just got to be making those, don't you? It's just it is always with us, and this is the difference between us and the top 4 teams and the premiership teams, is doing the little things right. I think we've got our eyes so set on the bigger picture, but it's just these little sticking tackles, hitting those 20-metre kicks on the 45, and I think our D50 exit is still an area for concern. because it stifles a lot of what we do up further afield as well. And whether or not that's to do with the forward line not having the craft to be able to create space and our guys actually seeing that, or it's just our guys not being able to use the ball properly. I think it's a little bit of both in that regard. But it was interesting to know what I noticed with this new rule. I know everyone's probably going to be talking about it, but St Kilda actually played us really well because we've got a host of half-backs that sort of like to run and gun, Williamson, Sard, Doherty, those type of guys. They actually, when we had the ball, I think around maybe a sort of 55 to 60 out and to their goal line, so from 0 metres to about 60 out, they actually folded back and sat back, and it stopped us from sort of running and gunning early on in the game, which was, I think, Surratt. He played that well. But as the game sort of wore on, started to open up, and that's where I think guys like Sard, Williamson and Doherty and Williams as well will be able to come to the fore. But again, as with the Essendon game, what do we take from these things?
Yeah, that's the thing. We didn't want to get too high after the win against Essendon. We don't want to get too low against the loss tonight. I think it was important. Having said that, I think it was important for them to show a bit more fight in that second half, which they did. They brought the game. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, when they brought it to within a kick, the place was rocking, mate. The place was rocking tonight.
Yeah. Look, I purposely went there and said to myself, and I made a conscious effort, Paul, just taper it down. We don't need to go overboard or anything, which I didn't. And I think I was fairly tame, but when Cunners kicked that goal, I couldn't help myself. It was nice to see him. Look, I think him and O'Brien came on at the right time. Those free-flowing, open-running footballers, and the Saints look to be out on their legs late as well. And but mate, I was pleased with what Lockie O'Brien showed. And I know the caveat is that it's only a practice game, and he did come on at the right time for a player of his ilk. But the thing with him has been, and it's been drummed into his head, I think, from even the Bolton era. It's like, own your wing. That's your area of the ground. Own it. Own that part of the ground. And I think he did when he came on tonight, and he used the ball beautifully as well. And that's what we need to start doing. I think he's thinned out a bit too. I know there's not much of him, but he looks to be a little bit leaner, I think.
Yeah. Oscar McDonald or Callum Moore? Who gets the spot?
Oscar McDonald. But maybe we've also got another. I think there's a younger 18-year-old that's also on the list that wasn't drafted. He's training as well. I can't remember his name for the life of me now. But given the injury toll and the area of the ground that it's on, you have to go with Oscar McDonald, don't you? He presented up well at the ball tonight. In the absence of Harry and McGovern and Levi, I thought he did some nice things as well by being able to keep the ball when it was on the deck. He kept the ball in front of him, and he gave our smaller forwards the opportunity to swarm and lock the ball in. Looking back at the game, we actually had 15 tackles inside 50. So that's something that we're starting to improve. And I thought that improved as the game went on. I thought we were pretty poor at locking the ball in our front half in the first quarter, given how easily the Saints were able to walk out of stoppages. But there are some positive signs. Dowie looked okay again. I think it was very similar to the Essendon game, where he was more impactful than he was good for a prolonged period of time. He popped up, and then he went quiet a bit, and then he popped up again. So, and I think that consistency is going to start coming as he starts to get continuity with game time, confidence in his body, and confidence in his ability to be able to play at the level. So, look, Richmond are going to be a big test come round one, as they always are for every team. But more so us this year. And, I think the one thing I want to say too is, I know Harry went off injured, but we spoke about this before. I've just come on here, and he sooked it up a bit, Harry, tonight.
Didn't go his way, did it?
Things weren't going his way, but that's when you've got to lift. You've got to, whether it's, maybe whack a bloke around the, whack a bloke in the guts, and, obviously do it fairly, but, you've got to be able to shrug those type of defenders who are going to try and lock you down every week. So he's going to be the main focus point for opposition defence in the early part of the year. So he's got to take it upon himself. So Crippo was feasible, serviceable. Only had 3 kicks, 15 handballs. Wasn't really able to get much separation on his opponent when he went up forward. So I think he'd be a little bit disappointed with that. But overall, I mean, you can look at it either way. I think so. I just hope that I hope that Wiedering and Harry pull up fine from the game. So big test round one, mate. Big test.
Absolutely, mate. Appreciate your insight. Always appreciate your insight.
We will chat soon, and looking forward to the next fortnight, March 18th.
Absolutely, mate. I will speak to you very soon.
Chat soon. Enjoy.
Ciao. Where we at? Rocco. I've got Rocco here. Where is he? Rocco.
How are we going?
We are going well, mate. We're going well. We're back at the footy. Happy to be back at the footy.
Well, let me tell you, mate. So I was screaming, I was crying, I was yelling, I was smashing, and that was just in the car. And then I got to the ground, right? And I really got excited, mate. It was good, man. It was good, man. Man, got there. I was just sitting there in awe just for a little while. I was thinking, I can't believe we're here. And then the boys ran out. You saw how good the ground looked, didn't it? The ground looked superb, man. And the boys come out. And, it was exciting now. I don't know. We can analyse the game. Maybe me and Pom will probably go over that later on, you know what I mean? There's a lot of good points you can get out of it. There's a few bad points. At the end of the day, man, it was a practice match. And I saw a lot of good signs there. Yeah, there was a couple of sloppy, disposals, Doherty. There was a couple of things. Don't worry, mate. You can hear my voice. I yelled louder than anyone there, There's a couple of umpiring decisions that didn't really go our way. But overall, man, Sauce. How good was Sauce tonight?
Oh, my God. Well, can I just go back one moment? Because you mentioned the umpiring decisions. There was a moment in the first quarter. It was late in the first quarter. There was a holding the ball decision that didn't go our way. Mate, when the Carlton fans were up in arms calling for ball and we didn't get it, it was unbelievable.
How good was that? And then
my God.
The booing later on, because you can't do nothing, but you can boo, you know what I mean? At the umpires, yeah. Look, there was a couple, I don't know, that they maybe need a pre-season too, but, there was a couple there. But I'm not worried about that. The noise was good. I could hear yelling. I could see, people, at each other, I was a little bit there was a couple of St Kilda supporters there, so I kind of was being a little bit loud, letting them know that they've only got one style of game and they're not going to do nothing during the year. I don't know if that's true, but I like to throw those things out while I'm there, But
it's all about the banter.
I love it. And then, mate, Sauce was good. Williams was good. He looked good. Saar looked good. That goal, how about that goal? How about that goal he kicked there? When he ran, I started doing the chant. I started going, Williams, running down the wing, and he was still running down the wing. I didn't care, So that was good. Man, I enjoyed myself. I reckon it was good, and I reckon we showed plenty, man. We showed plenty.
I agree. They got us good in the first half. We obviously let them score too much, and it could have gone one of two ways. We're down by 6 goals midway through that third quarter, early in the third quarter. We could have really just packed it up, but they've got that fight. And they look.
Of course. Good.
Yeah, I thought the fact that they got into it and they adjusted. We lost our forwards. We lost our key forward in Harry. Then we're playing Callum Moore and Oscar McDonald. Yeah. I mean, Moore's been with the club, not as a forward. McDonald's been with the club as a defender, ruckman. The guy's just trying to figure his way out. And I think we found a way to adjust. I mean, guys like Zach Fisher haven't had a mention yet. He was unreal tonight.
He looks fucking sharp, man. Looks sharp. You know what I think happened? We go in there with a game plan. Think about this, right? And so Harry's there, and then we lose him. And we just continued playing with the same game plan. We kind of didn't adjust. It took us a while to adjust because I kept saying, man, lower the eyes, man. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? We haven't got the big man there to bring it down, So I think it took a while to adjust. And then in that second half, they started adjusting. And we also, I don't think we were tough around the contest because in the first half, I think it was 17-30 in clearances, So they were really killing us around the ball, And then I noticed in the second half we were a lot better. I noticed when Curnow went in there, we did a little bit better. You know what I mean? So I saw a lot of good signs, man. I saw a lot of good signs. There was, like we can go through, like Oscar McDonald, man. Last week I was going, nah, Cal Moore, man, we got to pick him up. And this week I'm going, nah, we got to get Oscar McDonald. So
I'm the same. I'm the exact same. I think last week, because I was thinking about the ruck situation, TDK's hurt, Casbold's hurt, so we've got to put more on the list. Whereas tonight I'm thinking, well, McGovern, Harry, Charlie, Wiedering, if he goes down, McDonald can play back.
And he looked good. Hey, and another thing, I'm going to say this, man. Like everyone goes when McGovern's back, he goes straight in. He's got to take Sauce's spot, mate. He's got to take Sauce's spot. I reckon Sauce is the man. You know what I mean? Now, naturally, if we're losing McKay and that, and then you got McGovern and that, but you've got. To me, it's McKay number one, and maybe you got a second one like Casbold and that, but I reckon it's Sauce, man. He's got heart, man. He did such, man. He's relentless. He just doesn't give up, doesn't he, man? And then he kicked those goals, I had a good time tonight. That was exciting.
I think the last point as well on Sauce is he's had a long layoff. He's missed a lot of footy. Last week was his first real hit out, and then this tonight, and then he last week he was a bit of an almost player. Whereas tonight, I thought he actually executed on some of the things he needed to. And that fourth quarter passage of play where he marks the ball and then gets it inboard, and it's Jack. And if Jack succeeds,
I screamed out when I think he took a mark on the wing, and I just screamed out, "Oh, the boy has emerged, man! He's here now! Right, mate. Sauce has arrived, mate. Like, so he's going to be huge for us." The back line, like people are going, like the back line and that, but I thought they held up all right, man. You lose Wiedering. I thought they held up all right. I thought they got caught out a few times, but this is what this match is for. This is what this match is for, I think the way this match went is better for us than if we just smashed them or something, because we're going to learn a lot of things, you know what I mean? We're going to learn a lot of things about tonight, man. I think we'll be ready for round one. We'll be ready, man. We'll be really ready, man. We're going to give them – I think it was a really good hit out tonight, really good hit out.
I think we'll take a bit from it, but, love it. Love your thoughts, mate. Thanks for joining.
No worries, man. Keep going and go Blues.
You know it. You know it. Speaking of OG, I've got to get Chris Beach on. Chris Beach. Mr. Chris Beach making his 2021 debut back on the channel. Hello, mate.
How are you, good sir?
I'm good. I'm happy. I got to go to the football tonight and watch the boys play.
Well, good, because someone only managed to catch the last 4.5 minutes because someone had cleared a train tonight, but I was getting score updates as much as I could. So, yeah.
What was your key takeaway from the game?
Well, the fact that we were able to kick a score even when Harry went down in that first quarter. 15-9 is actually a pretty good score, even though we went down tonight. So, yeah, I was pretty happy with that. I'm disappointed on the result, don't get me wrong, but I think we can be not as disappointed as probably previous seasons. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. No, that's fair enough. I think that's. What were you looking for tonight? Were you looking for particular players? Were you looking for game style? What did you go into the game looking for?
I think just consistency and continuity, to be honest with you, Terry. I mean, the fact that we were able to put on a decent showing against Essendon and then able to back it up tonight against St Kilda, who were probably going to give us a run for our money either way. I think we did all right tonight. Like I said, disappointed that we went down the way we did, but we went down fighting. Years ago, that wouldn't have happened because heads would have gone down and we would have been booked by more.
Does Paddy Dow play round one? What's his preseason been like for you?
Yeah, he does. For me, he's improved considerably, actually. When I watched the game against Essendon, and I know it's a practice match, but he was slipping tackles, he was kicking the ball, and he was using that trademark sidestep of his, and he was able to provide runs for his teammates. Now, years ago, Paddy Dow wouldn't have done that because he would have found it very hard to get in the game because someone would have been on his backside the entire time.
Mm. Yeah, no, I was impressed with him. I really was. What about the final spot on the list? Who's it going to? Because I feel like last week the sentiment was generally Callum Moore, but I feel like it could have turned tonight.
Yeah, I reckon so. I reckon we do go with Oscar. I mean, now that we've lost Harry, well, for the night, hopefully, as I say this, touch wood.
Mm.
Yeah, look, I think we do go with Oscar because we're going to need some sort of tall target to not necessarily aim for, but to go for. Because then you can bring it down, and then someone like a Zach Fisher, who probably played one of his best games for the club, can actually rove around him and try and do what he can with the last few games he's had under his belt.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I wanted to also mention Will Setterfield. I think he's had 2 really solid games playing as that defensive wing, sweeping guy behind the ball. What did you make of him?
I think it's just a continuation of where he left off in 2020. To be honest with you, I mean he's shown some promise. We've known this for a while, and he showed again tonight what he will promise us and deliver when he gets his opportunities to go his way, which was exactly what happened tonight.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. What are you feeling about the preparation for round 1? Do you think we've had a good preparation?
Yeah. I mean, we've said upon numerous occasions St Kilda were the perfect test for us. I think we're going to be able to go with them. It'll be just trying to make sure that we keep that continuity and make sure that we don't slip a step behind or go too early too quickly, because Richmond will get us if we do that.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll hurt us quite badly if we are one step behind.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Fair enough. Very, 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 very fair comments. I've enjoyed having you back on, mate.
Likewise, mate. I'm glad I could get back on, mate.
You have a great evening.
Catch you later.
See you, legend. Speaking of legends, Mr. Williams.
Hey, how are we doing?
Mate, we're doing well. We got to go to the football tonight and watch the boys play, have a beer, talk some shit. Had a good night.
I mean, you can't beat a beer, can you? I mean, I was very jealous of seeing people walk. That was one of my jealousy.
Talk to me. You were watching the game from home. You were streaming the game from home. You were streaming your watch along. What did you take of it?
3-hour watch along. Yeah, I'm a bit tired. I feel like one of the players. I think for me, let's start off with the positives, because we're a new Pommy in 2021 and we're going to be constructive. So, I mean, the positives were when it worked, it worked. So you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to play it very quick. To kick that many points and got that score with not a recognised key forward as well is a very positive. It shows that early entry is going to be beneficial. Now let's look at the negatives. St Kilda are a very accomplished side, a very clean side, but they're not Richmond. Richmond are more ruthless, and you could see when people say it's only a practice game, you can see that St Kilda turned it on when they needed to. They didn't want to lose that, and that's what good sides do. For me, I think you can see it's too easy at times to score against us, particularly ahead of the ball. The movement ahead of the ball for Carlton at times is woeful, and it forces that kick long. And you can see that 8 of their goals tonight were caused out of the back, just out of the back. Very quick transition. We saw Essendon do it. It's very easy to do it against Essendon. Essendon have the forward pressure of a 3-year-old child, but St Kilda, they have proper forward pressure. They're a real team. And you could see under pressure, the boys were a bit more reluctant to move. They tried to do the safe kick, and at times it got us into trouble. We know Doc turned it over a couple of times. He wasn't the only one. Plowman did it. A few players do it, and that's what pressure does. So that is probably a good lesson for Teague for the next 2 weeks, to work on that, to trust the game plan, to trust the process. And that's something that needs to work on. But one thing is evident with Carlton, you're going to have to play two forwards. If McKay plays, he needs a Casbolt, he needs a McGovern, because, again, it was very easy for them to turn it over. McKay was pretty ineffective throughout the game before he got injured because it is so easy to defend. It's so one-dimensional. And St Kilda are very like Richmond. When the ball hits the deck and they spoil it, it's a goal. And that first quarter showed it.
Who has been your most... I know it's straight after the second match, but out of the two matches that we've played, the Bombers and the Saints, who has impressed you the most this preseason?
Liam Jones, without doubt.
Yeah. Great call.
Liam Jones his ball use down the back as well is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It's so clean. It's something that I think is improved more than any other player. His ability to hit targets and make the right decisions. He's a real rock. Another one is your boy as well, Will Satterfield, defensive halfback, playing in that like defensive midfield role. He's a good out, and when he frees up, him and Doc can work. But I mean, that's something that we need to definitely look at against Richmond, because the third quarter, when we turned it on, I was saying in my stream, we need to run. We play a high forward press like they do. The only way you beat forward presses is you run. You saw teams scared of Sard, and they start running back, which creates space for Williams, which creates space for other players. So that's something that I think Carlton need to do. They need to trust themselves, because they are better than what they showed in some of them quarters. And I think it's a trust factor. It's a trust factor in believing in themselves.
I'm with you. I'm biased here, but I thought Mark Murphy's game and Zach Fisher's game were exceptional. What about you?
I actually think McKay going down and no McGovern and no Casbolt is actually a blessing in disguise, because they've had to work incredibly hard. And boy, oh boy, did Mark Murphy and Fisher work hard. Their forward pressure, their ability to hit targets, get on the ground, absolutely amazing. So I think they've probably got the best baptism of fire ever, because they wouldn't have had this opportunity. They've had to work hard. So couldn't agree more. I think Zach Fisher is an absolute gun. And I think Mark Murphy playing that half forward role, he's just that reliability. He knows how to use it.
No, fair.
But before I go, let's just talk about one player. Zach, I'm a God, Williams. What a player, man. Like, you know what, as well, Zach, it's funny because if you've got the name Zach, you're the only Carlton player in the last 10 years to know sometimes forwards don't mark it and you can go out the back. So, absolute brilliant. When Nick Austin said we had to strike, we need a ball user, you see why. Because when he gets the ball, something happens. Absolute beast of a footballer. And Zach Williams, I am honoured to carry your surname.
Do you think he gets a week? Because I think he does.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the problem is it's high contact, and even though it was low impact, they are so hot on that. I mean, I can see it. I hope it doesn't, though. I'm not a fan of suspending people for dubious things in pre-season. I hope it doesn't. I wouldn't be surprised, though, but hopefully not, because he's an X-factor player.
Yeah, he is. He's kicked his two roving goals.
He was, honestly, I mean, that was beautiful, wasn't it? I mean, it's something he's got, hasn't he? He's got it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But he's got it. He's got it.
He's got an $800,000 salary, baby. That's what he's got.
And you know what? Call this controversial, but I enjoyed that high tackle. It showed a bit of intent. He went for the ball, and you can see he doesn't give a shit. He goes for it, and I like that. And that's going to stand us in good stead. Dow as well, again, backed it up 2 weeks in a row as well, clean. And he's going to learn a lot from Williams. If he sticks around Williams, be a very good footballer. But to me, we got a lot to work on. But you can see it. You can see it. It's not quite there. It's there, though. It's there.
So if I had to ask you, Pom, what's the one thing? I mean, there's a lot of things we've got to get right before round one. But from what you've seen in preseason, what's the next most important thing we've got to get right before round one?
I think in 2017, I had the privilege of seeing Richmond play in pre-season and they lost. And it was round 1, halfway through the season, they started to believe in the game plan and the game plan started to come out more and more. Carlton need to do the same. They need to believe. They need to believe it. They need to believe what they're doing. And once they believe it, they've done. They'll go ahead. They'll go to the next level.
That's very interesting you say that, because I thought St Kilda absolutely, there was unequivocally, they knew exactly what they were doing and when they were doing it and how they were doing it. They knew where the next ball was going to be when they had the ball before. And I was impressed with them. Full credit to St Kilda. They were very impressive. And, mate, when they go, they really, really go.
Oh, mate, and St Kilda are a case in point. Last year we saw signs and then they trusted the process, believed in it, and look at them now. They are loving it, aren't they? St Kilda are loving life. So it'll come. We just got to believe and back it in, and the decisions will get better. The decisions will get better. I've got no doubt. There was enough there for me to still be happy, Pom, and I don't like losing.
Yeah, no, neither do I. I think I was also overawed with the going to the footy again, having those conversations before the game, having the conversations during the game, halftime, going to the pisser, having a pee, getting a pie, getting a beer, doing the little things like that. So hearing the crowd say boo and all of that. So
I've got to say, shout out to the fans as well who were at the ground and who weren't at the ground. Like, absolute amazing support. And trust me, the boys will have felt every inch of that.
Yeah, no, love it. Love you, Pom. Thanks for everything, mate. I'll chat to you soon.
See you soon, boys and girls.
See you, brother. All right, who we got? Josh. He's got a nice Carlton background as well here, I can see. Hello, mate.
What's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you well this time, mate. What's going on?
Good. Not too much. I just got home from the game, so I think that I do think, and I've been saying this since last year, Callum was absolutely trash. I saw him once Weeders went down and Big O moved into defence, which is his natural position, by the way. There was a one kick into the forward line and Moore's just run straight in, he ran in between two of them and completely ran under the ball. Whereas if that's Eddie Betts even, they're hitting the pack there, taking a mark, right? He set up one goal earlier in the game, but I would have set that up with my eyes closed. So, I'm not trying to be rude to him or anything, but I don't think he's a good player. I don't rate him. I want Big O. I think that he, when I watch Melbourne, as my nan's a Melbourne fan, he got their player of the season, I think 2 years ago or something. Again, he's 196, so he's not an ideal ruckman, but he can fill in there if he has to, play forward, and if we miss Wiedering, he'd play him forward and play Casbolt back. When Casbolt played back a few years ago, I thought he was going to get all Australian, to be fair, but I think that umpiring though, that was atrocious. That one you're talking about on the wing, I was right in front of it, and there's about 7 of us just abusing the hell out of the umpires there. It was ridiculous. I don't understand. I don't understand the umpiring in that game, but
yeah,
I feel that we did superbly again with we had Oscar, but no tall forward essentially. I feel like you implement Harry in there, you implement Charlie Favolo in there when he gets back. We're going to be hard to beat with that. The only criticism I have is, and I said this to my dad in the because he didn't see the Essendon game, he's never watched Sard before. And the second that I said it, Sard went through the middle and kicked that goal. I said, we need to bring Sard into the game. You've signed a player. That's like people having a nuke and not using it. You've signed a player that's a weapon that you're not using. And there was one time I think Fish had it in the centre of somebody, and he's come steaming past, and they didn't give it to him. And I'm like, the only person out there that could catch him is Bradley Hill. And when Bradley Hill wasn't around, you got to use that more. But for me, I feel we use that more. Yeah.
So we've had a couple of preseason games now. We've had an intra-club. How do you feel like we're prepared for round one?
I feel like we are. Again, like I said, and I said this to my dad today, because the last footy game he went to was 3 years ago and we were shit. We had Brendan Bolton, says everything. But you think of it, we have, whether it's Harry, whether it's TDK, whether it's Casbolt, McGovern, Lord help us. Whoever we have up there, 2 tall forwards, they kick 2 goals each. It's a 2-point loss. Roughly 2 goals each, if you count Oscar McDonald's. Harry would have kicked 2 goals easily. Casbolt, I can see. You can see where we need a tall forward because, like I think it was Pong was saying, we'll just boot it in the forward line, hoping for a tall forward to take a mark. And Cal Moore is not that. And I think we get two of our tall forwards back, even if it's McDonald and somebody else. We have 2 tall forwards in round 1. I can see us getting close and worrying Richmond. But I think Eddie Betts has got to play if he's fit in that game because you see the Geelong game last year, he won a stat off his own boot.
So who would come out in that situation?
O'Brien, I think. I don't rate O'Brien. I never have.
Well, I don't think he started in the 22. He was one of the he was one of like the 24, 25, 26. So I'm thinking it's probably got to be like Cunningham didn't even start in the 22. Yeah. So you got to take one out. Who's it going to be?
We'll see how he pulls up. Maybe Nunes if he's injured. But if you mean like almost permanently, I don't know. It's a good call. I feel I agree with you what you're saying, but I feel like maybe I don't know. Maybe SPS, but he's I know he's a defender, but for me I know he can tackle. He's really good at tackling, but he's not a defender. He's playing out of position and. He's going to lose that spot when Newman comes back anyway. So, I think, I don't know. It is a positive sign is where we got healthy competition for spots. I remember a few years ago, we didn't, you can name the squad, But I just felt, especially when we had Cal Moore up forward, I felt like we had Robbie Warnock there again. It was just, but I don't know. I don't know who comes out for Eddie, but I think,
fair enough.
I think his leadership,
Yeah. No, fair enough, mate. Well, listen, appreciate you coming on. I love the background, by the way. I'm really a big fan of that.
I was going to put Adam Sard up there, but I couldn't find one of him in Carlton jersey. So
next time you come on, I want to see the Adam Sard one.
Or Kerno, but yeah.
Well, you have a good night, man. I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
See you, bro. All right, who we got? Mark, Mr. MCM. Hello, my friend.
Hi, Terry. You've had a pretty full-on show thus far, especially having the likes of Chad. Then you had Pablo, Rocco. Now you got Marco Poloqui here, but you had Beachy, Pommy, and Josh just then. Very, very good. I just want to say that before we then get into my opinion. So kudos for that, mate. Very
Cheers,
good.
Mate.
Good lineup. Very good lineup.
Thank you. Now we've got you, the star of the show, mate. Talk to me about your thoughts on the game.
There's plenty of stars, mate. There's never one. I will just say, firstly, this sort of agitated me a little bit. The very, very start of the game. And then I noticed when I was then watching the quarter time break, and I noticed it had Wiedering going up to Max King. All the best for the game. Have a good one. My theory with that is a little bit of an indictment. I'll tell you why. If we're going to be that ruthless, hard, fair dinkum side that's going to get the respect that we finally deserve, it's this. Wiedering, you've just won our best and fairest. Well deserved. You know what I would have done? Or let alone someone as talented as his, what he should have done, shoulder barge Max King. Obviously not to give away a free, but just to sort of ruffle his feathers a little bit, which, mind you, if you saw the very, very start, Zach Williams goes and collects Hunter Clark. Look, fingers crossed he doesn't get suspended because, mind you, Clark did play out the whole game, which was a good sign. But, of course, knowing what's happened with our women's team, that no matter who we tackle or hit, there's a big agenda against Carlton, which, anyways, from then you saw the quick play. Max King then gets held. And then you thought the first 2 goals, they came pretty quickly, and you thought, okay, well, Terry, just like anyone else, years back, those 2 goals in the first, mind you, it was a very quick minute, was going to turn to be a bit ugly. But I will say, now we can elaborate more. The boys did resolve very, very well. I just felt that even though we were behind all game, I still felt that we were going to push them. We're going to push them because that's what you've got to be able to do. Keep that scoreboard ticking over, and you just never know. What really did hurt was if you go from the first half stats, I think there was a passage where they had 45 out of their 83 that they got at halftime. St Kilda was once again turnovers that we just give sides that ability to just counter. Obviously, just make our mistakes look that ordinary, which they obviously capitalise, which we've always had to grind and really work for our goals, which, I think it was the stoppages, we were just ahead from scoring than what the Saints were. But again, if the turnovers can just be tidied up, then, look, would have been nice to obviously have won the game. But look, that's not the real point. It was just more of trying to contain the opposition from not getting easy scores, whether it was at the back or obviously, disposal efficiency through our defensive 50. But no, look, tonight definitely showed, I feel, where we're at. And you also got to think, St Kilda have now had two, seasons where they've recruited hard. We've only had the one. So until we then, gel with what we've got, then it'll only be a matter of time when the second and third season, when we go a lot more harder, and then we'll be ready. But as far as best players, look, Fisher was fantastic up forward. I really liked just the way he was able to obviously present himself, read the packs very well. Mind you, of course, after Mackay got injured, we were struggling for a key forward. So, but you had Murphy floating across, and look, with Murphy, it just reminded me of Gary Ablett. You're in the twilight zone of your career, and look, I know how much you love Murph, but you know what? I think this is where not just myself, but I reckon the entire Carlton supporter base group are probably going to love Murphy more, because I do remember there was a time in 2009 when it was Feb kicking 80 to 90 goals. Murphy then chipped in with nearly 40 of himself. He's going to benefit so much more than you can imagine, where the times we're probably giving him hell, he's going to reap the rewards a lot this year. I could see Murphy kicking, probably 30, who knows, maybe 30, 40 goals. That's probably maybe a bit too far high.
I love it, mate. I'm all about that type of positivity. You can bring that anytime you want on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel, mate.
I think being that latter part in his career, I mean, that's again, it's a big number. Oh, look, I will definitely say, and I think it's realistic, if he can't get a goal and a half a game, let alone a goal a game, if you could agree, I think that there would be just perfect for him, because, again, he's a good distributor. He's able to float across half forward and just, again, use his experience to just know when to hit targets that's necessary, and at the same time use his other teammates in that know how to obviously read from the packs. Oscar McDonald. Now, I know you had that question for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, look, Oscar McDonald, for me, he competed in the ruck when obviously he needed to. He obviously got himself a couple of goals. He did have to float a little bit down back because obviously he was a little bit known for that in Melbourne. Yeah, look, well, I mean...
So you have to pick one. I'm giving you the job. List manager for the next 30 seconds. Who are you picking?
It's again, Oscar McDonald by a country mile. I was only just going to say a little thing for Callum Moore, just saying that, again, if another ruckman was to go down, could we open up another potential spot? But no, to the point, Oscar McDonald, for me, it's important that he backs it up, because he's, 24 years of age. So he is a mature age. So he's one of those guys that he knows within his own right, this is probably the best chance I'm going to really have a good crack at this at a club where I'm in that age bracket. They're on the rise, and you just never know. What's to not say he gets that spot, and round one, if you were a sports bet man, he ended up kicking 3, 4, if not 5 goals, and be like the so-called Matty Ripe that was floating from 2016, 17 and 18, I tell you. Would be very, very rich people if he was to do the unthinkable there. But,
absolutely.
No, it's important that he backs it up from tonight's performance. Pitternet, I thought, was fantastic in the ruck. Yes, I know St Kilda were a bit under strength there with obviously Marshall and Ryder, but still, I mean, like Henry was no pushover. I mean, he got a goal early and he was sticking the tongue out like he was some freaking ultimate hero. But then Pitternet... obviously did his bit and competed very well. by pretty much rucking all night. Yeah, look, Liam Jones as well. I mean, basically was playing on a witch's hat in Sean McKernan, and of course he only basically got into the game by getting a few lucky frees towards the end, which I probably felt that's what kind of saved St Kilda. But I'm not gonna what's the word I'm looking? Sorry. Not going to discredit their performance because, to be fair, they were very, very quick and slick. And you saw from early parts of the game, let alone in that first quarter when it was just high scoring and just free flowing, you saw Brad Hill. He was able to, get as many metres gains like he would through his Hawthorn days, Fremantle days, where, he was actually underutilised, I thought, a bit last year. But tonight just showed that, yeah, this is why St Kilda are going to probably be more of a top 4 side. And we're just, at the moment, look, hopefully if we're healthy, I still feel we're good enough, definitely for the 8. But at the end of the day, if we want it, then we'll deserve it. And if we don't, well, again, that just comes to obviously the culture and management where there's just that hunger that needs to obviously still be just implemented a lot more. But yeah.
No, fair comment. Fair play. Fair comment.
Yeah.
Fair comment. It's always good getting you on, mate, getting your thoughts. I think you've summarised it pretty well.
One other thing, and I don't want to get obviously too mental, you probably remember that time against Adelaide. Lockie Plowman. If I was Mark Jacko Jackson saying that the AFL need to seriously look out with these new implementation of their rules, he should be charged with fraud. Why on earth am I saying this? I'll tell you why. The amount of times he got easily pushed under the ball, even from mid-sized players, with your memories, Jack Loney, Madonna Mia, please. Him kicking 4 goals. Gee, I must be a good chance to kick 6 then, the way that he had played tonight, because he made him look like a superstar, which is just wrong. And even when he was let's say in possession for a good clear 5-10 meters, he just looks like he always feels like he's always under pressure, even though he's got time and space. Now, mind you, Terry, there was a time that Plowman, I felt, was he was a very difficult opponent to be stopped, because I felt like he was able to perform his role. If there was maybe, let's say, one guy, he probably has, I guess, his number, it's probably maybe a Charlie Cameron. But again, one hot day doesn't equal a summer. One rainy, ice cold day doesn't equal a full winter. You've got to try and do it goddamn consistently. So hopefully, if our list can get back to full health, Marchbank, for the love of God, please stay fit and come back in for Plowman, or even a Newman, of course, at the same time. Because for Lockie, it's simple. We want guys, if they're going to get back into our side, to dominate in the VFL. And for someone like Plowman, if he needs to get that touch again, take 10 intercept marks, have about 20 kicks, get his opponent to basically almost stand 10, 20 rows back in the stance to actually get his confidence up. That's just my biggest take for him, because, to be honest, I feel like he's the only weak link in the side. Yes, I know it's a preseason game. I'm drilling him early, but the guy's 26, 27. He was a top he's a top 5, pick 3. He has to do more than that. He's got to be one of those guys where, if you ain't getting a touch, his opponent is like he's not even listed on the ground. That's what he's got to do. Simple as that. I used to play that role, and at the end of the day, it was simple. Keep him statless, let alone put him back on the shelf, even like in the old cabinet making boards.
Yeah, no, fair enough, mate. Thanks so much for joining. Appreciate you, and appreciate you sharing your thoughts.
Bring on round 1. Come on, boys.
Love it. Love the passion. All right, I'm going to put the link in one more time. I've got Paddy who's waiting, and after Paddy, that's all we've got left. So if you did want to join, I know some people are having a bit of a moment on YouTube here that they didn't get in. You're just going to have to sit tight a little bit. The link's going in one more time if anybody wants to come on and share their thoughts. But without further ado, I'm going to get Paddy on, and we'll go from there. Paddy.
How are you, Tez?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Good to have you back on for the year. What's happening?
No, always good to be back. I was falling asleep, and then I saw that, the 11 p.m. fan cans were back. Can't miss this, mate.
The late night bandits, mate. We're back.
No, you got to wake up at 5, but you got to get back to the show.
Talk to me. What'd you see?
What did I see? I saw typical game at Marvel against the Saints. That's what I saw.
100%. 100%.
That's what I saw. I don't know how many times, or every year, when I look at the fixture, whether it be the Saints and the Kangaroos, they're similar teams. They're our bunny sides. And we play them at Marvel, I know, we're in for it. No matter where we are on the ladder, if we're going well or they're going shit, or, we're going shit and they're going shit, like somehow they always manage to make us silly. I don't know what it is. It's the game style. Marvel's a bit quick, suits the Saints to a T, and they just always make us look a little bit, second rate. But that's what I saw tonight, and I thought it's just a practice match. Just, let it go. We had a few other players in there with Oscar and Callum Moore and Lockie O'Brien. So I thought, let's not get too invested in the practice match. But obviously when the game went on, sort of get more and more fired up, and I was thinking about going tonight, but
the juices start flowing, don't they?
Oh no, yep, they do, especially when you see JSOS take a bit of a screamer in there, and you could hear the crowd on the TV as well. It was getting a bit filthy that I didn't go, but that's what I saw. I saw, it's different year, but it's always a similar result when we're playing the Saints for some reason. They're a good side. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I thought, hopefully we've learnt a little bit over the break, especially with the 5-goal sort of, lapses. And then, you look at the scoreboard, all of a sudden we're 30 points down, 5 goals again. We're chasing ass. Yes, I know it's a practice match, but you need it. To me, it's sort of a similar mindset that we've carried on to, when the game sort of feels like it's getting away from us, that's when we flick another switch and try and get back into there. So that wasn't promising. I know I'm not taking too much out, but it's those little things where it's a mindset thing where it's just so natural now that we're chasing and, we sort of feel like we're not going full 100%.
Becomes a habit, doesn't it?
That's what I mean. And I think like that's sort of happened. And I'll look, you're looking around and you're like, yeah, feels like we're playing okay, but we're still 5 goals down. And then all of a sudden we try and turn it up again and get a couple of quick goals. But the amount of replies that they got straight after us kicking a goal was it was instinctive, Felt like, oh yeah, we're back in the game, and then bang, they would get another one 30 seconds later. So, like, the other things that I really liked were JSOS. And, like, people saying we're missing Eddie, but you look at Fogarty, he had 7 or 8 tackles, one of the most in the game. Sort of like, can Eddie actually come into round 1 and lay that many tackles and pressure acts and sort of squeeze him out? Because I thought he played quite well. He was a bit stiff not to get a goal or two. And I think he brings that sort of pressure. And then Cunners, that beautiful finish in the last quarter. I think when he came on, I thought we look pretty good when those two are on there. So because Eddie, I know he's going to be a little bit refreshed, new season, pre-season and whatnot. But towards the end of the year, we all know he was, showing his age a little bit. Yeah. But I thought Fogarty wasn't half bad, and I thought Cunners wasn't half bad, and it makes it pretty hard for Eddie to squeeze them out. That's just my opinion. If I had a choice between the two with Oscar and Moore, who don't rate at all, I'm not gonna lie, but coming into the game, I thought, gee whiz, Oscar McDonald, we can't. Surely we can't. What happens? The ball goes flying in. I thought it was Harry because he looked dangerous. And no, he's not lining up, is he? He kicks it pretty well. It looked like he was a dangerous forward. So I would actually hold off and go use it for the mid-season because you never know what's going to be around the corner. But we don't have that luxury at the moment with a few injuries with the big men. So obviously, I would choose Oscar, but I would try and hold off depending on how Casbolt is and how Harry pulls up. So it's never positive when Harry's done his ankle last week and twinged it a little bit again tonight for a big man and only 2 weeks out from round one. So hopefully all is good there. But overall, I thought we showed resilience. And you got to think, like, playing Saints at Marvel, they're going to be a good side this year.
Yeah, they play it very well.
They're going to be a top 6 side this year. So I thought we mixed it pretty well. If we play them at the G, I think we got them covered. I think we've got them covered. But yeah, there was a few players that I thought was really good, and I agree with Murphy playing forward. I think it's better for him and the club. And I'm with you, Tez. Like I love my Murph. He's bled for the club, and all the bashers they can say whatever, but the proof's in the pudding. He bleeds Carlton and he's been there for a lifetime. But what do you think, mate?
I was happy, mate. Just happy to be at the footy. I'm going to watch it again tomorrow. We'll see. Maybe tonight. We'll see.
Maybe
I'll
tonight.
watch it again. Yeah, maybe tonight. We'll see. I might catch a quarter in bed before I fall asleep. I'll watch it again tomorrow, and then I'll get my thoughts in a review video and share it then.
Yep. No, well, I think we're on track. Yes, we lost, but there was a lot of positives that we took. We didn't really have a forward line. We almost scored 100 points. Yes, I know the new rules. Yeah, I know they're a bit free flowing, and it was bruised free, hence the heavy scoring. But I thought we actually played pretty well, and when we went quick, we looked good, no matter who was in the forward line. So yeah, that's the way I look at it. The way I look at it is we're a faster side, we're a more attacking side. Yeah, there's a bit of flaws in the defense, but
yeah,
really scoring 100 points with basically a twos side in the forward line. Yeah, I'll take that against the top 6.
Absolutely. No, you're right, mate. I'm going to get you off because I've got Toby who's been waiting very patiently.
I'm going to hit bed.
Thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it.
Cheers, mate. See ya.
See you, Ledge. All righty. We've got one more for the night, guys. Toby.
Terry. How are you,
you, legend? What's happening, my man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm going well. We've done our second fan cam session of the year, mate. Talk to me. What'd you think of the game?
Well, mate, I've been watching your YouTube channel for a while, and I've been commenting. So thank you for letting me be part of this channel. Because as I've told you before, I've got an intellectual disability. So I've been a Blues fan for a long, long time. But mate, what I heard tonight on the radio at cricket training at Canterbury, I just heard it a little bit, and I thought our kicking wasn't great. But if we work on that, I think we'll be okay. And we're showing pride in the jumper. And that, to me, as a Carlton fan, as a passionate Carlton fan, as I've been all my life, that it's so proud for us as Carlton supporters that we're actually showing a bit of ticker. I don't know what you think about that, but for me, I think that's the pride in the jumper. And we got to keep showing it.
Mate, I think you're spot on. I think obviously we all want to win. We all want to win every game that we play. But I think for too long we've had comments about the team that they don't play with that passion. Whereas I think now we're really starting to get these guys that care. And I think you're spot on. I
agree, because I reckon we can beat Richmond round one. And I'm so sick. Like, I play footy and I've got teammates who brag for Richmond. I'm so sick of them coming up to me and going, "Oh, Carlton is shit." No, we're not. I'm so sick of those supporters who come up to you, like Collingwood supporters as well. They do it. Essendon supporters do it. Yeah, mate, I'm so passionate about the Blues. And that's why I'll come onto this channel and show my passion, because I love what you guys are doing. And thank you so much, because from the bottom of my heart, last year when I watched in COVID, I was so proud to be part of this channel, Matt. And Matt, if I ever got to meet you, thank you so much for setting this up, because it means so much to the Carlton family, Matt. So much. And I'm so proud.
Mate, that means a lot. That means a lot. I really appreciate the sentiment. It's cool. It's pretty cool to have the platform where we can all come and, for better or for worse, wins, losses. If it's a loss, it's therapy. If it's a win, we get to bask in it. And I think we did something very special last year with the fan cams, with everything else. But I'm a little bit speechless, to be honest. I really appreciate what you just said. I'm glad you're enjoying the channel, mate, and you're always welcome on the channel as well.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. And can I just say, Rocco is hysterical. I laugh every time. And Tommy, you're hysterical as well. And PS, go Blues. Come back.
Mate. Thanks so much for joining, Toby. Have a good one, brother.
I will, Matt. You too.
Mate, what a legend. That's I'm very speechless. That's pretty cool. It's very special to hear that. Thanks a lot, Toby. Guys, that's all for the night. Thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself tonight. I enjoyed going to the footy. I enjoyed sitting there with my brother, seeing his passion. He kind of lost it for a few years, but it seems to be back. I will catch you tomorrow. I'm going to wake up nice and early, get the review video out. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. And we'll leave it there. Thanks for being a part of it, and go the Mighty Blues.